Hi, everybody. I hope you can hear me. Um, we had a little technical issue on the last meeting, but thank you all for joining me and for us to kind of talk about the situation we are in and what we are doing to s- to make sure our swimmers have the opportunity to continue to swim. Um, excuse me. On Wednesday, we found out from Keller ISD that there was a leak in the pool, and they will be fixing that leak on Tuesday, October 18th. That's when they'll start doing it. They have a time frame that they are trying to complete this in, but if anybody understands dealing with pools, there's always that issue of things that can happen a little bit later and longer. So we have a time frame of about 4 weeks. Um, we hope that it doesn't go that long, but we also understand that it maybe can go a little bit longer than what we expect. If it does go a little bit longer, we will get into Thanksgiving break, which opens up a little bit more on availability, at least for both swimmers and families, as well as lane space at our other sites. So right now, the Northwest ISD pool is the best place for us to kind of go over and train. Part of the reason for that is we have water polo that is being taken over the WAC at for the month of October. It's kind of the central hub where they are doing a lot of the playoff um, water polo. So the option, we don't really have an option to go out there. They are practicing a lot in the morning as well as on the weekends. So, um, but we are going to do our best to make it through this. So looking kind of at the schedule, I've given out a 2-week schedule, and please understand that we are doing our best we can to provide some sort of activity for our swimmers and keep them engaged and in the water. I do understand that going out to Northwest ISD is can be very hard and is very time consuming. It's probably going to add 30 minutes to 45 minutes extra drive round trip for you guys, and that's kind of hard when you're going for a 1 hour practice or even a 45-minute practice for those in the stroke team. So right now we do have a modified practice schedule that I sent out. We're going to look at these 2 weeks as we go through them and see how things go. And if we can make modifications, if we can add more practice time based on the lane space, based on the people being able to come out there, we will do our best to do that and try to pivot after the first week or so. Please understand that there are already high school meets scheduled out at Northwest on Thursday, as well as LAC is running swim meets in both uh, the last weekend in October for our JSL meet, as well as we have our Fall Classic meet, which is a prelim final meet in November that we will try to run practices between sessions. And then we have our BC meet that some of you guys will be attending in the silver group out there as well. We Due to all this changes, we have canceled our stroke meet for the month of October. We will have another one here in December, and Coach Sarah will be communicating that out. As of right now, the bronze and silver practice groups do have practice. The stroke team does not have a specific practice time. We have you can join the stroke team out at Northwest ISD. Please, if you are one of the stroke team members, if you would please email Coach Sarah Crouch at Sarah sarah.crouch@swimlac.org. If you are interested in joining that stroke team. Otherwise, those kids are going to have to probably have a hiatus from practice during this time, which leads me into the next situation, which is the billing portion of this. And with everything unknown moving into November, we're going to keep the same billing practices of what's going on. Part of the reason that we're billing for the month of October is we have to pay our coaches, we have to pay for the additional lane space rental that we are taking on. As we move into November, the hope is that we will have a clear picture on what's going on. Once we get into November, we are planning on billing November the same way, but as we get into November, we will understand kind of where we're at. The board of directors and coaching staff will come up with a plan of how we will get reimbursed if that is an actual option. Please understand that this is a normal practice for LAC. One of the things that's very nice for us is we do have options to be able to go to other sites. We've had the Keller pool go down for 2 weeks before. We've had all of our different pools go down except for the Northwest pool because it's brand new. And so we've been able to pivot and move around and move practices schedule around so the kids don't lose out on practices for a prolonged period of time. The one thing that we have not done is done this over a month period like we are currently doing. So we are doing our best to see what happens and then modify as needed. If there is a part where we need to give dues credit back, we can definitely do that. As far as the stroke team is concerned, because we don't have practice, we are looking at that, and we will continue as normal. And then once everything is finalized, we'll look back and work on the financial piece of that. I think the biggest thing that we can do right now is to keep everybody on the same page of is communicating with our coaches. So please feel free to communicate with Donovan and Adam as best as we possibly can. If you have questions or concerns, feel free to email me as well. But I think the biggest thing is we're having to all deal with this in a short amount of time. We're very thankful that Northwest ISD has allowed us extra time and space to come in there, and their practice schedules have been adjusted and moved around, and we're thankful for them for being able to accommodate us as well as have their groups kind of move around. So I have children of my own. I understand how inconvenient a schedule change can be, and we are going to do the best we can to get through this. We will still have our JSL meet as scheduled, and we think that after the first meet that was very successful and good for the kids. And to be perfectly honest, we are looking at those as almost a modified practice, just like for some of our older kids who are having swim meets, and then in the coming meets in the coming weeks, that we are looking at those as more of a let's get into the water race and not worry about what happens, how this connects to the end of the season. We've learned a lot of how to move people around with COVID. And so we're using some of those lessons that we have learned. And that's part of the reason why we've only put out a 2-week schedule. We want to be able to pivot and move around and not have parents have plans based on here's what we posted. So I really understand that parents have busy schedules and kids have busy schedules, and you guys have put swimming in those busy schedules, and we want to be able to make sure everybody works has the best opportunity to swim. as a possible. We will do a combination of things at Keller ISD. The Keller ISD natatorium will be closed to the public because there's going to be no water into the pool, but we'll still be able to do some dry land things there. So based on what I said, I hope you understand that we're trying to make the best out of a bad situation. But if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself, and I'll do my best to answer those in order.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
If there's a practice that we can't make the time, is there any opportunity of jumping in on a different practice, different time, or is it just we get what we get?
It's kind of more you get what you get, but this is where the communication with the coaching staff is probably the best thing that you can do. I can't go over every single scenario with every single person, so it's that's where I feel like if you can't make a specific practice, to email the coach and see if there are any other options. There may not be other options, but that would be my first suggestion, is to email your child's coach, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Good deal. Thank you.
No problem.
Hey, I have a real question, quick question too. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure that I understand right about the stroke team, our kids in black too. And do I understand right that we may just need to go on hiatus for a little while, or possibly email Sarah and see if there's any time that we can join? But that's really kind of the summary of it.
Yes, unfortunately, that's where we are right now, based on the lane space that is available for the next couple weeks. So yes, right now, we may just have to go on hiatus if you cannot make the stroke teams in our at either Northwest. I don't think we have room in Flower Mound, but yes, right now that is kind of where we're at.
Okay,
Well,
we might be able to make the schedule in terms of the stroke team in Northwest, but you say it's just a matter of space, just to
there should be a good amount of space, we believe, at Northwest. I just don't think there's going to be a lot of space for people to go out to our Flower Mound location. So, and that's part of it, is because of the amount of practices that we have canceled out there due to water polo. But Coach Sarah and I believe that we will have enough practice space for the Northwest at the Northwest site. So if you're able to make that, we highly encourage you guys to do so.
Okay. Oh,
and we need to email her for that schedule.
Yes, I would email and reach out saying that we are looking to join the Northwest schedule. I believe it's the posted schedule on the website. However, with the changes and modifications that have happened, I'd like you to communicate with her just to double check and make sure the practice times and dates. And she is ready to answer those emails.
okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. Due to the modified schedule, are you keeping in mind the attendance requirements? Like,
oh, yes, there's no attendance requirements now. We understand that this has thrown a loop and a wrench into the whole situation. So we just say, do the best you can. If you can get out there, we understand this is a modified schedule, and we understand that this is not positive for everybody. So we're not looking at, for move ups and things like that. We look at the whole season and not just where people are at the moment or where people are the last week of the season. So this is an ongoing thing. So we totally understand that.
thanks.
Any other questions? Well, if there's no other questions, thank you all very much. Oh, oops. Do we have a question?
I have a quick question.
Yes.
So you said that they already sent us the schedule, or are we going to be sent the schedule? If we're like silver,
So
or
the,
I mean,
yeah.
no, yeah, silver too.
yes, so the schedule is on the email I sent out with this Zoom link. So it's
Oh, okay.
it's on the attachment.
Okay. Okay.
So-
Sorry, I missed
Oh, no,
that.
no, you're actually not the only person who's had this question. So
Okay. All right. All right. And I got on late. Sorry.
no
Okay.
problem.
Hi, Jason. Can you repeat Sarah's email address?
Yes, you can find it under the what on our website under coaches. Or you can go to it's sarah.crouch CROUCH at swimlac.org.
Got it. Thank you.
Well, everyone, if there's no other questions, I appreciate your time and thank you all very much. And we will do our job of communicating with y'all as best as possible. So thanks, everybody.